right, welcome back to the Dirt Beers podcast. This is episode 28, I
Yeah, you
believe.
got it.
Yep, 28. Okay. Just me and Jonathan this week. No guests. We're doing a little update slash recap on some stuff that's going on. A couple little topics we're going to dive into this episode. But first, we got to thank our sponsor, Inland Rigging. Inland Rigging is a machinery, moving, and warehousing company based out of Southern California, offering local, domestic, and international moving services. Whether you have one piece or a complete factory or even a warehouse to move, Inland Rigging has you covered. With a deep family history in the business dating back to 1904. Inland Rigging continues the same family values that has made Inland Rigging the right choice for so many years. Thanks to Tom and everybody at Inland Rigging for continuing to support the show. We appreciate them. And Jonathan, a little other housekeeping note right at the top. Some of you that have come from either the Facebook or the Instagram, we're doing a little bit of a schedule change. The posts are going to be a little bit different. We're going to go back from daily photo posts to only posting photos 3 days a week. Those are going to be Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And then Tuesdays, Thursdays is going to be reels from the show with our guests or topics or things that we've been talking about. And there'll be nothing on the weekends unless there's maybe some special stuff going on, some special events and stuff like that. But just want to put that out there first. But Jonathan, I think we're going to get into the overall series points and maybe see what things have changed and who's fighting for championships.
Yeah, man, it's you know what? I kind of every once in a while I forget to check the point standings in certain series, and it kind of keeps me from really investing in the series sometimes. Because like if I had known that the high limit series right now is as tight as it is, I think I'd probably be paying a lot more attention to it, or at least like thinking about the entire structure of where everybody's running. Because I just pulled up the points for the Kubota High Limit Racing series, and it's tight. Aaron Reitzel's up 9 points right now on Brad Sweet. I didn't realize that Reitzel was up. And then B, I didn't realize that it was as tight as it was, not just back to Brad Sweet, but you got Tyler Courtney, who's 19 points back of Reitzel. Rico's only 31 back, and Brent Marks still very much alive with 47 points back. So your top 5 drivers all very much realistically could win this title. It gets a little further, like a little bit more jumped up when you get to Justin Peck's at 176 back. Tanner Thorson's 221 back. Chase Randall, Casey Kane, Spencer Baston round out the rest of your top 10 runners right now. But that top 5, man, like that's kind of anyone's game right now. Feels like, no?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I always thought at the beginning of the year, he had that unfortunate incident in Las Vegas where Aaron took the rock through the visor. I thought that would maybe hinder him a little bit more than what it has, but the 87 car has just been on fire this year, running consistent, getting wins, and obviously it's showing with him being at the top of the board over Brad right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, looking at his stats this year, it's not like he's necessarily blowing anybody away. 4 wins, very respectable. It is second most in the series right now. 12 top 5s, 18 top 10s in 21 features this season. Now, again, he's tied for the most amount of top 5s. No, actually, no, that's a lie. He's not. Brad Sweet's actually up on that. So Aaron Reitzel, he's a guy who's not leading in any of the major stat categories, but when you look at his performance, you got to see there's a ton of consistency and a ton of maximizing of points, right? Whereas a guy like Brad Sweet's only won twice this year. I say only, but he's got 1 less top 10, 16 top 5s though, which is very impressive.
Yeah.
So when he's starting, and the other thing too to know about Aaron Reitzel, he's down a feature in terms of points compared to Tyler Courtney, Brad Sweet, and Rico and Brent Marks. He's only ran 21 features, only made 21 shows compared to the rest of the top 5, top 6 in points are all at 22 features. So interesting that Aaron Reitzel is doing that with doing all this with 1 less start on the season. Rico Abreu is leading the series in wins right now, 6 wins on the year, 11 top 5s, 17 top 10s. So he's got to get he's doing a good job of winning those races, but for Rico, he's got to get a couple more top 5s to get himself up in that mix as well. But this is just, you know what? This is the diversity in the schedule or in terms of the winning that we needed to see from the high limits, I think, for them to take that next step. I think maybe there's some skepticism. I think a lot of the people who were really skeptical about High Limit were just like, oh, this is the Kyle Larson, Brad Sweet show. They're just going to win every single time. Well, now you're seeing that the competition's caught up and they're prepared to take the fight to Brad Sweet, who, when you think about it, has won what is it, 5, 6 national titles in a
Yep.
row between the two series, right? So
Yep.
the competition has caught up to that KKR bunch, and we'll see how Brad responds the rest of the season.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think that was definitely the vision everybody had when Thailand first started, that it was just going to be the Kyle and Brad show. But I think over these year and a half that we've had into the national tour stage of this series, I think that it's definitely getting proven wrong that it's not always going to be Brad or Kyle on the top step of the podium.
Yeah, and then you kind of flip things over to the outlaw schedule and the outlaw points, and well, it's kind of the opposite story. You got you got David Gravel up there,
Yeah.
right? And he's kind of walking away with this thing right now. 184 up on Michael Kofoid. You got Carson Macedo back at 210, Logan Schuhart, Sheldon Haudenschild. Some other drivers have caught on as of late. You know, Carson Macedo's picked up some wins kind of towards the end of June there. But now that the World of Outlaws are on a break, you can kind of take a little reset in this and realize that the field's got a lot of work to do if they're going to catch David Gravel.
Yeah, I mean it's been the story. David Gravel just doing David Gravel things. For whatever reason, it seems like he can just put that car anywhere, and it's fast and it unloads fast, no matter what racetrack they're at. I do want to point out he did not super struggle, but he struggled at his owner's racetrack, Hughes, for the High Bank Nationals. Not getting a win there. So definitely was uncharacteristic of David for that. But I after they've left Houston now, just before the break, he racked up another couple wins, I think one or two, and he just keeps his dominance alive.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is the stat, right? 38 starts on the season so far for Gravel, 37 top tens.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to lose a championship if you're finishing in the top 10 every
Single
single
night.
week, win and week in and week out. I mean, and like you say, he did pick up a couple wins. He picked up a win late on the schedule there at Cedar Lake. The last 2 nights of the schedule before the little break to start the beginning of June. Cedar Lake in June 28th was Carson Macedo, 27th was Gravel. But you know what? Good on Buddy Kofoid, man. Like, there's some guys having some really good seasons. And I know it may not look like it when you've got a Gravel walking away with the points title, but Buddy's got 6 wins on the season. Carson's got 5. A lot of different winners. Logan Schuhart's up
Mm-hmm.
there 4th in points with what is this, 2 less starts than everybody else. He's only started 36 features and he's still up there in points. So, what could Logan be doing if he had those extra 2 races under his belt, right? So it's
Yeah.
just one of those things that happens with the points over the whole season. But I'm impressed and encouraged with the diversity in terms of who is going out and getting wins in the World of Outlaws this season. That's what you want to see. I mean,
Yeah.
Kyle Larson's 4 for 9, right?
Yeah.
Those guys are going to show up and get their wins.
Yeah.
Rico's got 2. Brad Sweet's got 1 on the tour. But of
Yeah.
the guys who are regularly running it, you can see now that there are some folks having some really good, great runs and really making the most of their time with the World of Outlaws.
Yeah, for sure. You take a look at that top 10, and you. I mean, it's like everybody says, anybody can win any night. It's all up to how you're doing, how your car's running, circumstance. So, everybody loves seeing new winners. So for people to be able to take it to David every once in a while and be like, hey, you're not always the top guy here, but David still gets that consistency and running in the top 10 even when he's having a bad night. So, like you said, it's hard to beat getting top 10 to death.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Looking over at the Super Dirt Car Series points because we're big modified guys, so want to give some love and attention to that series. Things tightening up. Alex Jankowski only up 4 points now on Matt Williamson. Eric
Yep.
Rudolph still right there, 59 points back. Matt Shepard's 84 back. Alex Payne 89 back. Mike Mahaney 93 back. I would say as far back as even maybe Peter Britton. Maybe Britton's out now, being 150 points back in that championship. But I mean, only 9 features on the year so far,
Yeah.
and it's pretty tight and a pretty hotly contested battle at the Super Dirt Car Series point standings.
Yeah. I'm gonna reiterate it again. Like I said from the beginning, I thought Alex Sankowski is gonna be the guy to bring it to the Matt and Matt show
Mm-hmm.
and spice things up. So it's good to see that Alex is still up there. Obviously, Matt catching back up, yeah, having some solid runs. Matt Shepard having some solid runs, getting himself back into the fight here. Um, it's always a toss up, and especially when you compare Super Car Series to the other national tours, less races, less opportunity to get the points back, and if you have a bad night, that can really ruin your points chase.
Yeah, and I mean, like, especially when you factor in a guy like Stuart Friesen, who's, a bit of a ringer at this point. He's only ran
Yeah,
6 of these races, but he's won 4 times. That's 4 opportunities that he took away from a Shepard, a Williamson, a Yankowski, a Rudolph to get wins, right? Like, when
yeah,
you look at this, Yankowski hasn't won anything since Florida, right?
yeah,
But he's got 9 top 10s and 9 features.
yeah,
Again, we talk about gravel top 10 them to death. That's what Alex is doing right now. Now, he's got to get those wins. Again, 8 top 5s though. Like it's not like oh he's running eighth, ninth, and 10th, and that's how he's getting his points. And
yeah.
he's running in the top 5, finishing in the top 5, and just not giving up a lot of ground to any of these guys. Rudolph is having a great run, which is awesome to see. I think we're all pretty happy for Eric Rudolph
Mhm.
to be as a factor on the tour once again. Williamson's got his win. He's got 8 top 10s on the season. Shepard's got a win, but he's only got 6 top 10 finishes, right? So that's a big, like, just looking at those columns, right? The win, top 5, top 10, you can kind of put together the picture of how this season is shaking out and why we're seeing what we're seeing from the Super Dirt Car Series. And they're on a little bit of a break right now in terms of their schedule, but they've got some races that hopefully we can try to get to. I mean, the 26th at Weedsport, I definitely am going to be right off. I'll be announcing at Maryville. But hey, I mean, I have Wednesday, July 30th circled on my calendar. Canadian Classic at Brockville. I'm not sitting here saying it's impossible that I get to that race. Beef, I know your work schedule probably won't allow
Yeah.
for you to get there, but I may have to go there and maybe go and hang out and interview some folks from the Super Dirt Car Series and check out one of my favorite tracks, which is I really enjoy Brockville. So
Yeah. And speaking of that, Jonathan and me, we're trying to get out to these racetracks, trying to get the Dirt Beers brand out there, the podcast out there for everybody. If you want to support us, reach out. That's the best way. We're always looking for show sponsorship. We're always looking for just if you want to, kick us a couple bucks to get us a pit pass or get us some gas money to get to these races. It's always greatly appreciated, and the DMs are always open. So we're looking to work with everybody and anybody. So if you're a fan or a company or anybody and you wanna support Dirt Beers and what we do, feel free to reach out to us. But yeah, who do you want to get into next, John?
well, I just want to build off your point that you just made there as well. We took I took some blog footage from the Oshweekend World of Outlaws set, and I haven't put it all together just yet. But I kind of getting the itch, and I'm getting some free time on my hands, so I'm gonna put that together. And the other thing I was gonna say is that if you're a racetrack owner, you want to show off your facility and you want people to come and check it out, I will happily come and film and do a vlog of my experience at your racetrack. And that's the thing, is it's just a matter of making those trips and seeing more places. For me, that's all I would love to do is go out and travel and see more racetracks. So if you're a track owner or a promoter and you want us to come and check out what it's all about, Beef and I will happily come and do a little vlog, and it ends up being one heck of an advertisement for your show. So just saying, who knows? But I feel like we probably should get into something that I do all the time, which is Victory Lane interviews. You put up this story in our little document here. Tell me what's
Yeah.
going on. So people are upset about swearing, or somebody had to apologize for
So
this.
so there was a couple incidents during the Hell Tour. Well, one specific one we're going to talk about is the Hell Tour. Tyler wins Hell Tour feature, gets to the front stretch, gets an interview, has a couple, swear words put in there. It wasn't. I mean, obviously, you want to try and not as much as possible, but these drivers are in the moment. They just finished racing, running hard for how many ever laps. And if something went on during the race or they want to talk about it, that's how a lot of dirt racers express themselves is freely through their words. So for a couple swervers to get said over the mic, is not uncommon at a racetrack, especially a dirt track. But it was more what I saw after that, where the track was apologizing to the fans that there was this language used during the interview. There's a clip of it being said over the PA. I believe maybe there is even a little bit of a post put out about it, but in my opinion, I get those little kids in the grandstands, and they obviously shouldn't be hearing these words, but at the end of the day, you chose to bring your family and your kids to a racetrack, and the racing is not scripted. There's emotion, there's everything involved with racing. So for a couple swear words to get spit out, and then people kind of complaining about it, or the track being like, "Oh, we need to cover our ass because this person said whatever in the interview," I really don't see a need for it. I think it'll cause more harm than good.
So for me, I'm going to reflect on, my own personal experience as an announcer. I've had guys swear in victory lane for sure. A lot of times it's accidental. They don't actually mean it. They just, slips out because it's just their natural way they
Yeah.
talk and whatever, and it happens. And yeah, as far as an apology goes, usually it's just a simple like, "Oh, sorry about that, folks. Like it happens." Da, da, da. I don't think it's that big a deal. I really don't think it's that big of a deal that they needed to have multiple apologies and make statements on it and everything else. Like that's just not. I don't think it's a concern. Like again, the track that I work at, like one of the catchphrases, one of the slogans for it is best family fun in Niagara, right? Like that's we're about the family fun. And I get that you want to have a cleaner image, but at the same time, you also have to respect the fact that these guys are not media trained by any means. This is not your Sunday Cup stars. They are not sitting in classes all January long learning about how to answer a question with a question and doing all the things that for the most part actually drive us nuts and then it ends up with us complaining that nobody has a personality,
Yeah.
right? So again, I'm not sitting here saying that I need to hear that language out of more guys and whatever else, but I think in the moment, if you're fired up, it's going to be a thing. And whatever else, try your best to be respectful. If you're a driver, if you're an announcer, try to do a quick apology for it, but I don't think the track needs to take
Yeah.
responsibility like that. And again, it's different. Like even there's things that I have a problem with. Like I hate the middle finger to the tower while you're driving by. You know, like if it's a subtle one where you're throwing the finger to your opponent or something like that, where the crowd's not seeing it. But if you're like casually scrolling by, giving the one finger salute to the tower because you don't like a call, that drives me nuts. Because
Yeah.
you're not just giving it to the tower, you're giving it to the however many thousands of people that are in the stands as you're going by. And I get that you're upset with the call and whatever else, but think about any other sport in the NHL or the NBA. If you have a complaint with the ref, that conversation stays private.
Yeah.
You don't really hear the fans aren't really privy to it. Every once in a while, you get like a live mic situation in some of those sports, and it's fun and it's fine and it's okay. And maybe there's an apology for it, maybe it's not. The other thing too is that it's not televised to the same extent, so you
Yeah.
don't have people needing to stay within expected standards for a live broadcast. Like it just, I get the sentiment and I get wanting it to keep it clean and all that sort of stuff. And I'm not sitting here trying to condone and encourage swearing because that's not what I'm saying either. But I just don't think that tracks need to get that bent out of shape about what their drivers are doing. I mean, I think if anything, a lot of local tracks need to crack down more on what their drivers are doing in terms of substances and other issues pit side, as opposed to worrying about their conduct when drivers reach victory lane and stuff. I think there's other issues and other things
Yeah.
that need to be cracked on way more than just swearing. I mean, what are you, the FIA? Like,
Yeah.
we're talking about dirt racing and Formula One having the same complaint, which is fans being like, "Why are you against drivers swearing?" Like,
Yeah.
this is where dirt racing's going with this. Do you
Yeah.
really want dirt racing to be Formula One, guys?
No, yeah.
No, exactly. So just let the boys be boys. Let the folks say what they're going to say sometimes. Be as respectful as you can if you're a driver in your team. If that emotion's raw, apologize for in the moment real quick and then just
Yeah.
call it a day. Don't
Yeah.
make a big deal out of it.
I agree with everything you said there. But so we're gonna go from maybe a little bit of a minor thing that happens at a racetrack to something on the other completely extreme end that has really no part or no place in racing altogether. What
Mm-hmm.
has happened here? So we're talking about the incidents that happened at Port Royal Speedway in the limited late model class. A driver by the name of Taylor Fairling, I believe I'm saying that right. Taylor Fairling got involved with another driver in an incident on track, which resulted in Taylor spinning out very early into this feature, not many laps in at all. And Taylor decided that under the yellow, he was gonna try and take a swipe at the guy that's he had contact with, but he was also going the wrong direction on the racetrack. Let's just preface that. He spun out in turn two and he's going the wrong way into one and two. Tries to swipe at the other driver, misses, starts to drive the wrong way on the racetrack up through turn one and down the front stretch. That's when the Port Royal officials red flag the field. He keeps going down into turn four, finds the other driver parked, and just absolutely monster trucks this guy with his car. Backs up, runs over the front fender again, and then they proceed to stop. Both guys get out, argument ensues, a little bit of push and shoving, they break it up. But it's what Port Royal has done, and they're kind of setting a standard for not a standard, but a precedence for everybody, based off what this extreme reaction to an on-track incident has caused. So,
Yeah, it's
um,
really extreme too. Like I've got the video here. Do you want to pull this up, Beef?
yeah. So let's take a look at the video.
All right, let me get this up here, and we'll let me share my screen here because this is just it. Like there's extreme, and then there's whatever this is. So we can
Yeah,
start. This is the undergreen action,
yeah.
right?
And you
This
can
is all
find this
available.
video, yeah, all available on
Yeah,
flowracing.com.
flowracing.com. That's where I'm watching it from right now. Um, I think you can see that right now, right, Beef?
Yep,
So we
yep.
got this incident, a little bit of contact off
Tight.
to,
And that's not even Taylor. Taylor is the green and white car here.
yeah. So the
So
19 overcooks it, kind of hops that inside curb. I don't know, like, yeah, is it a little early for something like that? Yeah,
yeah.
but I mean,
So I can see you just want to back it up like maybe 20
yeah,
seconds, Jonathan.
yeah. Let's go back here.
Okay,
So,
so here's coming through three and four.
mhm.
So the initial contact with the other car is not even with Taylor. Gets the 19 a little bit squirrely. 19 is probably rattled, gets into one here, hits the wall, jets up the racetrack where the 8 is out there already, gives him a little tap, goes around. Here, I think that probably pissed him off even more, is getting clobbered when he's
Yeah,
backwards on the straightaway. But it's what ensues after this, where he starts moving right here.
and he's out of frame. And where's he
Yeah,
going?
he's going down the racetrack. So the 19 should be coming around here pretty soon. Yeah, right here. So he tries to get him, misses, ends up in the fence, backs her up, and you can tell that he's just fuming. So this right here, this is where it's really wrong. The first part, going backwards on the racetrack and you're taking a swipe at him, I mean, it's happened before. You give him a warning, but this coming all the way back down the straightaway. So now they've gone. I think they're starting to say red flag probably right about now, because these guys are stopping in the corner over here. And he finds them and just gasses it up.
So ridiculous.
Like, and then
And
backs up, hits him again.
another one for good measure.
And then this is where the belts come off and everybody starts to get out of the race cars.
And like it's and then it's kind of a gong show from here.
Yeah.
Officials quickly jump in.
Yeah.
I think that's track security looks like in the vest, I think as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I mean you got pit guys, looks like crew guys maybe jumping the
Yeah.
wall here to get involved. I'm gonna stop it down
Just
there.
yeah.
But for me, okay, so a couple of things. So first off, so it kind of feels like maybe like the 19 gets rattled, and then
Messes up his corner one.
messes up his corner, and that's that from the 19's end of things. But doesn't it kind of feel like Taylor Farling? Like I almost think that his reaction was, and again, I'm not trying to justify it by any means, but I'm just trying to get in his head as to what can make you so mad. It's like, did he watch that incident play out in front of him and then think the 19 was pissed off and taking revenge on him? And that's what set that all off. Because that's about the only way that I can think that you get mad enough to not only take one swipe, take a swipe, keep circling around the wrong direction, then monster truck the guy's front end, hit him one more time, get out of your car, and have a man conversation on the track. Like, I just think that he had to be like under a he just had to be misguided in thinking that the 19 took him out for revenge or something. Cause like that's
Yeah,
a lot. Like people do dumb things all the time and clip inside walls and make mistakes like that all the time. And you kind of have to just like let it go.
yeah,
But that is just so over the top. And for what? For
yeah,
what? Like I don't even know how many laps into that race that was, or how many laps were left on the board. I'm trying to see if it'll pull up. Yeah, there's the thing. So there was 24 laps in that race. Like you're telling me you sucked that bad that you were at the front of the field, you couldn't driven it back at least for a top 10 or even a top 5, like if the
yeah.
cautions fall right, like you just totally took yourself out of it when you probably didn't have that much damage. I know he got clipped there in the end, but I still think that car could have been
It was
competitive.
good enough to drive back around the racetrack and hit him. So
Yeah, right.
it's from what I know, these two have had a run in the past,
Mm.
so it's definitely not new. But for what the incident was on the racetrack, this retaliation is just uncalled for and something that needed to be addressed, which Port Royal has done, and they have kind of set a precedence for people that are taking actions like this and using their cars essentially as weapons
Mm-hmm.
against other people. So this is straight from Port Royal in their post. It says Taylor Fairing is banned from all racing activity at Port Royal Speedway for the remainder of the 2025 season and the entirety of the 2026 season. A fine has been issued and must be paid to the Port Royal Speedway prior to the start of the 2027 race season. That money will then be directed to the York County Racing Club's Injured Drivers Fund. And also, before being eligible to return to competition, Mr. Farling must meet with the track's race committee following the conclusion of the 2026 season to determine if reinstatement is appropriate. Now, that's a pretty big fine
Mm-hmm.
or penalty, I would say. This guy is literally not going to be able to race probably for a season and a half and then potentially never again if they decide that he hasn't changed his ways.
Yeah, that's I have no problem with it. Like I'm trying to think of like what a problem is or if it's unfair in any sort of way. I don't think it is.
I don't
Throw the
think so.
book at him. It's
Yeah,
stupid. It's dumb. It's going to get somebody hurt. Throw the book at him. Make an
yeah,
example of him. Not just for the local tracks, not just for the tour, for the entire dirt community, for the entire
mm-hmm,
racing community. You do
mm-hmm,
stuff like turning your car backwards to track down your opponent and take multiple runs at him under a red flag situation on top of that, like just asinine behavior that deserves to have the book thrown at him. I'm sorry. Like I
yeah,
can't come up with a way that can be that is indefensible. It's just indefensible. Like there's just
yeah.
nothing else to say. Um I don't know. Like I don't have enough context. Like, is this guy just a local kind of guy? Like, is Port Royal his only place that he runs? Like, is
I'm
he a
not
traveler?
sure. I don't believe he's like he doesn't really run any national. This is a limited late model race, so it's not super late models. It's not anything
Mm-hmm.
like that. It's a crate late models. So I believe he just runs regionally. Um, and I don't think Port Royal runs weekly late models. So this was a special show as far as I know. So yeah, I think this penalty is perfect.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it should be something that is in, if not in every series rulebook, it should be something along this line where if you're deemed to use your car as a weapon, you definitely should have at least this thrown at you, if not more.
I think the rest of the season plus one plus fine is a great penalty. I think there's nothing wrong with it. If you want to have the opening, if you want to open up for an appeals process where you could maybe get reinstated after the rest of this season, like if you get suspended in January, right, and you want to appeal in November so that you can come back in 26, for example,
Yeah.
I would be at least open to allowing for the appeal process to go through. That doesn't mean you get approved and that you win
Yeah.
your case or anything like that. But I would say the appeals, like mandatory, you're done for the rest of the year, appeal for the second year, and then appeal to actually be allowed to drive back afterwards. Even that, like you have that one appeal already in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry. Like you cannot, we cannot allow for this to happen and to go unpunished and to go so I I, I don't want to be, we just talked about swearing and stuff at the tracks and like how I'm sure some people think that sets a bad example. This is the bad example.
Yeah.
This is the thing you want to crack down on. This is the thing that if I had kids and I was running a go-kart program or something like that and they tried to pull that stuff out, I'd be parking them, like just selling everything the next day. You're done. Like you
Yeah.
can't handle being a race car driver if that's how you're going to act when you get spun out. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like that's just that. Like
100%.
so.
So also a little bit on the end of it, Port Royal put in their post that they encouraged other racetracks that this competitor races at to do the same, to really set a tone like this is not tolerated. Which I just want to show that Baps Motor Speedway and Clinton County Speedway have also put this in effect for Taylor, and he's running out of places to race. So um, I think it's a perfect penalty for what his actions were, and we'll see if it ever has to get used again later on down the road. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like a story like this alone, like I guess it's publicity, and all publicity is good publicity. But if you're a sponsor of that race car,
yeah,
like I don't know, nobody knows. I don't know. I don't have enough context to know that Taylor's the car owner. Like, how do you want to continue on with that relationship with
yeah,
that? Right? Like, that's the guy you want to, marry yourself to. That's the guy you want to support as a guy
yeah,
who's going to do stuff like that on a racetrack. Like, it just sucks, man. Like we're always going to know the name Taylor
yeah,
Farling, but it's
yeah, yeah,
for all the wrong reasons, right?
yeah,
So
exactly. But anyways, so that's been the episode. We had just a little quick update episode, went over the points, a couple of stories on what was going on. We're working on having a guest episode next week. Not exactly sure who it's going to be, so keep an eye out to the pages to see when we ask for some questions. And yeah, we're just getting back on track after the holiday break here for Canada Day and 4th of July. So hopefully everybody's getting back out to the racetracks. And like we said before, if you want to support us, reach out. You can reach out to the Dirt Beers Instagram. You can reach out to me personally on Instagram at @the_beef. You can reach out to Jonathan at Jonathan on air on socials. And we'd love to work with anybody and everybody. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else. You got
yeah,
anything
that's
else?
it, man. Just
Yeah.
get to us on social. I've been updating the TikTok feed and the YouTube Shorts as well, so watch for those. Wherever you're following us, there's a chance that there's going to be good content, and you just can't wait for the dirt season to kind of kick back into its next gear here after Hell Week. The Hell Tour is over.
Yep.
Then you got the Super Dirt Car Series back at it. You got World of Outlaws back at it. High Limit. They're all getting ready to go racing again here after this little break. So
Yep.
looking forward to more racing action and continuing on in the second half of the summer, which feels weird to say, but it's kind
Yep.
of how we're kind of what
Yep.
we're looking at right now.
Yeah, we're definitely hitting the in the second half of the season here. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.